The eviction notice came on a Tuesday, notice of immediate condemnation. Emily Carter read it twice before the words began to make sense. Her home, a modest brick house she had owned for 11 years, had been declared structurally unsafe. The property would be seized and demolished within 30 days. She stood in her kitchen. Her daughter Lily was at the table, doing homework. "Mom." Lily looked up. "You look pale." Emily forced a smile. "It's nothing." According to the letter, an inspection conducted 2 weeks earlier had revealed severe foundational failure, black mold contamination, and electrical hazards. Emily had been home every single day that week. No one had knocked. No one had inspected anything. She turned the page over, looking for a mistake. There wasn't one. The next morning, Emily walked into City Hall. Behind the reception desk, a woman in a navy blazer tapped at a keyboard without looking up. "I received a condemnation notice," Emily said, placing a letter on the counter. "There's been a mistake." The clerk typed in her address. "Inspection confirmed structural instability. Demolition approved." "No one inspected my home." The clerk blinked slowly. "The report says otherwise." "I was there. Every day." She shrugged. "You can appeal. There's a hearing scheduled in 3 weeks." 3 weeks? And then what? "If the appeal is denied, demolition proceeds." "Who requested the inspection?" The clerk paused. "Urban Redevelopment Office." Emily left with a knot forming in her stomach. At the hearing, they barely looked at her or gave her a listening ear. "The documentation is clear," the chair replied. "Appeal denied. Demolition upheld." Emily walked out into the cold afternoon air, feeling smaller than she had in years. That evening, her neighbor Marcus knocked on her door. "I got one too," he said quietly. He held up an identical envelope. Then Mrs. Patel from across the street called. Same notice. Within 48 hours, 8 homes on Oak Ridge Terrace had been condemned, every one of them long-term homeowners. Emily stayed up until 2 a.m. researching. Most lawyers refused to take her case. "You can't win against the city. It'll cost more than your house is worth. They'll bury you in paperwork." Then she found Daniel Hayes. His office was small, above a cafe. Framed legal certificates hung slightly crooked on the wall. He listened. "Do you have proof the inspection never happened?" he asked. "My neighbor has CCTV cover my front garden," Emily said. No one came. Daniel's eyes sharpened. "If we can prove the inspection was falsified, that's not just administrative error. That's fraud. Can we sue the city?" He hesitated only a moment. "Yes." The lawsuit hit local headlines within days. Homeowner files fraud suit against Harlingen Council. Online comments were vicious. "She's blocking progress. Probably can't afford repairs. Cities need development." But then something unexpected happened. A retired engineer from 2 streets over contacted Daniel. His property had been condemned 6 months earlier. He had accepted a low buyout because he thought he had no choice. He still had the inspection photos. They showed water damage in a basement. His home didn't have one either. The pattern was forming. During discovery, Daniel requested internal emails between the Urban Redevelopment Office and Inspector Doyle. The city resisted. The judge ordered compliance. What arrived in the disclosure files changed everything. An email. "Fast-track structural assessments. We can't afford delays." There were no mentions of safety concerns, only deadlines. Emily sat in Daniel's office reading the printed pages. "They were coordinating demolitions before inspections even happened," she said. Daniel nodded. "They assumed no one would challenge them." The city offered settlement, £85,000 equivalent in compensation. In exchange, she would drop the lawsuit and sign a non-disclosure agreement. It was more than she had in savings. More than enough to move somewhere smaller. Daniel placed the offer on the desk. "If you take this, the others are on their own." Emily thought about Lily. She thought about the retired engineer who had trusted the system and lost his home quietly. She slid the papers back. No. The trial began 11 months later. Inspector Andrew Doyle took the stand. "Did you inspect 14 Oak Ridge Terrace?" Daniel asked. Yes. On March 12th? Yes. Describe the structural foundation. There was significant water ingress beneath the subfloor. Are you aware that 14 Oak Ridge Terrace has no subfloor access? Doyle hesitated. It may have been concealed. A murmur rippled through the courtroom. Daniel then played Marcus's CCTV footage. Time-stamped. March 12th. No one entered the property. Can you explain why your report states you conducted a 2-hour inspection? Daniel asked. Doyle's voice lost its certainty. I relied on preliminary notes. From whom? He didn't answer. Daniel displayed the internal emails on a large screen. Is this your email address? Yes. Did you write, we need Oak Ridge cleared by Q4 to align with North River's timeline? Yes. Before any inspections were completed? Yes. So demolition was planned in coordination with a private developer prior to verifying structural safety? The director shifted. We were acting in the city's best interest, at the expense of homeowners. Daniel stood before the jury. This case is about power. When public officials coordinate with private developers to fabricate safety concerns, that's not progress. That's corruption. They counted on ordinary citizens being too intimidated, too exhausted, or too poor to fight back. He looked toward Emily. They counted wrong. The jury deliberated for 3 days. Emily barely slept. Lily asked, will we have to move? Emily answered honestly, I don't know. When the verdict came, the courtroom fell silent. On the claim of fraudulent inspection, liable. On the claim of unlawful property seizure, liable. On the claim of conspiracy with a private developer, liable. Damages awarded. £3.1 million collectively to affected homeowners. But the most powerful moment came next. The judge ordered an independent investigation into Harlingen Council's redevelopment practices and placed an immediate injunction on all Oak Ridge demolitions. The mayor held a press conference the following morning. After reviewing the court's findings, the city acknowledges significant failures in oversight and transparency. It wasn't a full confession, but it was an admission. North River's contracts were suspended. Inspector Doyle resigned. The deputy director of planning was placed under formal investigation. Oak Ridge Terrace remained standing. One evening, she stood in her front garden as Lily rode her bike down the pavement. Marcus waved from across the street. Mrs. Patel watered her roses. The houses were still there, still home. Lily skidded to a stop. Mom, she said, grinning, you beat them. Emily knelt beside her. I didn't beat them, she said softly. We made them tell the truth. Because that was the real victory. Not the money, not the headlines, but forcing a system that believed it was untouchable to admit what it had done. They thought she would move quietly. They thought she would sign and disappear. Instead, she sued the city and forced them to admit the truth. Like and share this video if you believe in justice.